Paramashivam. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. Om Nityananda Paramashivam. Om Nityananda.
Welcome to Kailasa's Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Devalaya. Today we are celebrating the third day of the Uttaranga of the Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Brahmotsavam. Nithyananda Pareshwara Paramashiva Brahmotsavam is one of the four major Brahmotsavams of Kailasa's Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Devalaya. It is the 17-day celebration of the living Paramashiva of Adi Kailasa, Nithyanandeshwara. The Shiva who is worshipped by Nithyananda is Nithyanandeshwara. Paramashiva is Avyakta, the unmanifest, and he is also Vyakta, the manifest. Yet, he is as available to us as a deep breath of fresh air. Paramashiva is one who is beyond all dualities, all good, bad, all genders, all tendencies and moods. He is the most pure and is completely untouched. But his compassion brings him down to our human plane and takes us from wherever we are to the space of Paramashivoham, oneness with Paramashiva. Today, we receive Paramashiva and remember his Leelas and his manifestations here in the temple. All temple festivals are Utsavams, and the most important one is called Brahmotsavam. The Sanskrit word Utsava denotes an act of creation or recreation. If we study the features of the Brahmotsavam, we will find that more than any other festival, the Brahmotsavam would essentially be a festival of recreation. Overall, the Brahmotsavam is an Utsavam, or festival organized by the cosmic creator, Brahma. The choicest cosmic arrangements are made by Brahma from the multi-dimensions of the cosmos to celebrate the manifestation of Paramashiva himself in the cosmos. The Kalpavriksha, wish-fulfilling banyan tree, the Kamadhenu, the wish-giving cow, all the celestial vahanas, chariots, flying machines are arranged for the Brahmotsavam. The Utsava Vigraha, or the presiding deity of the Utsavam, is an extension of the source deity or Moola Vigraha of the temple. He comes from the temple to our very doorstep and graces our family and community and showers all the auspicious blessings. He comes in various decorations or alankaras, recreating the divine plays and gracing all of us with the same blessings and manifestations that he had played eons ago with the divine mercy and love. The Brahmotsavam happens in the Tamil month of Kartige. The 10th day of the Brahmotsavam is the main Utsavam. Of the main Utsavam is the apotheosis of the festival that happens when we recreate and celebrate the very enlightenment of Paramashakti Nithyanandeshwari. In this Brahmotsavam, we saw Paramashiva as the cosmic juggernaut who manifests and enlightens the multiple dimensions of the cosmos. On the first day, he graces and liberates Nandi and creates the Adhikaramala of Kailasa. On the second day, he graces and enlightens Indra and the Devatas, and out of gratitude, Indra presents to him the Indra Vimana, the silver palki. On the fourth day, Paramashiva graces and liberates Patanjali, and Paramashiva graces on the Seshavahana, on the snake. Patanjali is an incarnation of Anantasesha. On the fourth day, Vishishta and the Saptarishis present Kalpavriksha and Kamadhenu to Paramashiva as he sits and liberates them while he teaches the Agamas. On the fifth day, All the Shivacharyas and those who do seva in the temples of Paramashiva, all of them are given enlightenment. On the 6th day, the Gandharva and Yaksha lokas are liberated. All the moon-based lokas are liberated. And the silver chariot is presented to Paramashiva. On the 7th day, he comes in the wooden chariot and liberates the whole Bhuloka. And on the 8th day, he liberates the rishis as he comes as Bhikshatana. On the 9th day, he liberates all the Rakshasas, giving enlightenment to even Ravana, and graces on the Kailasa Vahana. On the 10th day, finally, he liberated Parashakti herself, making her a part of him, making her his very half. And this way, he graces as Ardhanarishwara. With the blessings, presence, and grace of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagadguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, we should worship connecting with Paramashiva through the form of his Nijavatara, and worship him, and offering worship to him, and thereby merging in him, is the essence of life and the ultimate enlightenment itself. When we see the rituals or celebrations in the presence of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, the multifold possibility of enlightenment is reawakened in the cosmos for all of us. The compassionate work of the Guru to lead us all to enlightenment is done, and the possibility of our conscious breakthrough manifests powerfully in our lives. Rituals are the strong nuclear force of deities. They are powerful initiations where we can experience the deity as a consciousness, as an actual phenomena, as the very air we breathe, or by a unique smell, taste, or some sound. These possibilities of extraordinary manifestations of deities, such as the smell of Devi's jasmine garland, or the sound of Nataraja's dancing anklets, or even the materialization of the Guru's prasada of bhasma, can happen when these powerful initiations happen into experiencing the fifth force of conscious reality. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nityananda Paramashivam, is the 1008th incarnation of Paramashiva. He is here to revive Kailasa, the enlightenment ecosystem of Paramashiva. All the rituals done in Nityanandeshwara Paramashiva Devalaya are personally micromanaged and officiated by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. The rituals and homa conducted in Adi Kailas are micromanaged personally by the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, keeping true to the instructions as per Vedas and Agamas. Further, the rituals are conducted by third eye awakened disciples of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. In this Brahmotsavam, we celebrated Paramashiva. Arunagiri Yogeshwara eons ago entrusted the Kamik Agama to Brahma, Vishnu, to build the magnificent Arunachaleshwara temple. Where Swamiji grew up in the modern day. He is our Guru's Guru. He is our Paramaguru, Paramashiva, who happened in a very powerful way in our beloved Swamiji's life. We experience him through the living embodiment of Paramashiva today. We are so unfortunate to have Swamiji as Paramashiva in our lives. The Nityanandeshwara Paramashiva Brahmotsavam was where we remembered and celebrated his glories, leelas, and manifestations. We celebrate Paramashiva as the Panchakritya Parayana. All the Brahmotsavams are 4D prints of the cosmic actions of Paramashiva. They are creation, sustenance, destruction, putting into delusion, and liberation. The Dvajarohanam is Srishti, creation. The Rishabhavahana, Darshana of Paramashiva on the 5th day is Sthiti, sustenance. On the 7th day, he graces in the Radhotsavam and performs the cosmic action of Samhara, rejuvenation. On the 8th day, he graces as Bhikshadana and puts all into Turobhava, puts all into delusion. And finally, on the last day, he gives us liberation, Anugraha, by making us his very other half. In the rituals of Bharini and Kartiki Deepam, we celebrate, participate, and witness these cosmically entangled events, and we harness these very powers of Panchakritya within ourselves. To create the life we want, to remove that which needs to be removed, and to have enlightenment and merge in oneness with Paramashiva, we celebrate, witness, and participate in the rituals of the Brahmotsavam. On the first day of this grand Brahmotsavam, the Dvajarohana festival, where the flag was hoisted of the Rishabhadvaja. The significance of the Dvajarohana festival is explained how the flag is raised to the top of the flag post. Paramashiva declares in the Agamas about Pati, Pashu, and Pasha. As Paramashiva, who is Pati, Pasu, the individual soul, and Pasha, the bondage to the world. The flag staff, or the top of the flag, is Paramashiva. The flag itself is the individual soul, Pashu, and the rope is the Pasha, the bondage to the world. The significance of the hoisting of the flag is the cosmic reality of the individual coming over the bondage of the world and reaching Paramashiva. This ritual of Dvajarohana represents the sthiti, the srishti, or the creation phase of Paramashiva. This ritual is a hologram of the powerful creation of the cosmos itself. When the flag is hoisted, all the 33 million gods from all the lokas manifest in the temple campus powerfully to celebrate Paramashiva's Brahmotsavam in a grand way. Hindu history reveals the appearance of Sri Paramashiva as an infinite effulgence of light in the form of the sacred hill of Arunachala that continuously radiates the energy of enlightenment. The second, in the form of the worship of full Shivalinga, deity in the Arunachaleshwara temple in Tiruvannamalai. And the third, as a living incarnation to continuously guide the people to the path to enlightenment. Paramashiva's promise to humanity to manifest as the mountain, Shivalinga, and incarnation in Tiruvannamalai. In the Arunachala Puranam, it is mentioned thus, as the devotees asking Paramashiva how one can worship his mountain form, pray to him to grace them with a linga form that they can worship. Shri Arunachala, who is the form of the hill, other than rain from the sky as Abhisheka, who will perform Abhishekam by bringing water, other than groups of stars, who can offer the pearl garland for you, other than the rays of the sun, who can offer you Deepa. So they request him to appear in the form of a linga under the hill to enable them to offer puja by doing Abhishekam and other rituals. On the 10th day of this grand Brahmotsavam, a great flame is lit inside the Arunachaleshwara temple at 2 o'clock in the morning. It is a significant ritual that describes the origin of the cosmos. From one light, another lamp is lit, and that way creation happens. The lamp bells start clanging outside near the Homakunda, or the fire, Bharani Deepam, and it is a prelude to the Kartika Deepam that is lit later the same day atop the hill of Arunachala. In the Arunachala Puranam, Paramashiva declares that on this very day of Kartika Purnima, those all who want to experience oneness with Paramashiva should climb to the top of their nearest hill and light the lamps. The significance of lighting the lamp on the hill is that the universal Lord manifests in the five elements during the day, and in the evening again he becomes one with the absolute being, shines as the Tejo Linga when the Deepam is lit on the hill. Bharani is one of the 27 stellar constellations through which the moon is believed to pass through successfully each day according to the Hindu almanac. Bharani precedes Kritika, which is the constellation of Kartika Deepam. The grand celebration of this Brahmotsavam is the Mahadipam. This ritual is the celebration of the ultimate experience of oneness with Paramashiva. The lamps were set out in the morning, are brought back and merged into the Mahadipam in the evening. At that moment when the Mahadipam is lit, it is the moment when Paramashiva gave the enlightenment to Parashakti. He graces as Ardhanarishvara, where the deity is half Paramashiva and half Parashakti, and has graces as a being that is half masculine and half feminine, showing the ultimate truth that we are all not bound by the gender identity, we are truly beyond gender, and the truth that Paramashiva is the transcendental gender, Ardhanarishvara. Ardhanarishvara graces and dances in an ecstatic bliss when the Mahadipam is lit, when the Mahadipam of Paramashiva is lit. Seeing these events, when the whole cosmos is celebrating Paramashiva, can raise us to the same space of oneness with Paramashiva as Parashakti had. Under the most compassionate and all-seeing gaze of the Lord of Arunagiri is the place which Paramashiva decided to make his 1008th descent onto planet Earth. Arunachala is capable of removing all the sins of those who merely see him, and of fulfilling all the desires of those who worship him. The mountain of Arunachala is capable of granting liberation to even those who utter the word Arunachala from a great distance. It is well known that It is well known that what is called Arunadri is the embodiment of effulgence. He exists as the eternal column of light represented by the glorious hill form, whose immovable self can only be moved by the sincere and pure yearning of the beloved devotees. Even if a billion Brahmas came together, they would fail to narrate his glory satisfactorily. They capture the glory of Arunachala, the moon, Surya, the sun, Agni, fire, Indra and other devatas, the Dikpalakas, the protectors of the quarters of the cosmos, Siddhas, Charanas, Yakshas, Vidyadharas, Gandharvas, Nagas, serpents, birds, divine sages, Siddhayogis, and others. In order to get rid of their sins, all of these beings offer worship to Arunachala and attain fulfillment. Centuries ago, the great Lord Brahma was meditating sincerely when his son Sanaka Rishi approached him, filled with deep seeking to realize the Supreme Consciousness Paramashiva. On being asked to narrate the sacred history of Arunachala by his own son Sanaka Rishi, Lord Brahma was filled with divine remembrance of Paramashiva, which overflows from him as Anandasparana, the tears of bliss. Though misled by his own arrogance in his timeless epic, Lord Brahma himself is the one who narrates this story to his son, with not even an ounce of pride left in him, or not even a vengeance against Paramashiva, whom he had perceived as his punisher. But instead, Brahma remembers with the deepest reverence such the compassion of Paramashiva, and to liberate one even beyond the slightest hints of one's pain. Having invoked Paramashiva in his inner space, Brahma begins to narrate the entire happening of Arunachala with deep humbleness and gratitude to the one who liberated him. Lord Brahma recalls his own immense egoism. From the supreme effulgence, which is the eternal Shiva, Narayana, Mahavishnu, and I were born in accordance with his desire. Both of us manifested spontaneously. Once, out of egoism, we engaged in an argument and started to fight. Seeing the terrible rage into which we had fallen while quarreling, the Lord reflected, why should there be a destructive fight between these two as to who is greater? If I do not reveal myself immediately to both and stop their fight, the world will cease to exist. These two, who have lost their senses, do not know the Vedic truth that my glory transcends everything. Each creature considers itself superior to every other creature. The ignorant who cannot realize and concede equality or superiority fail. I shall reveal myself in a definite form somewhere in the world, so that even a mean human being can attain me and the moment he thinks of me. Thus, Paramashiva manifested first as the Teja Stambha, the infinite shaft of effulgent light to liberate Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu, and subsequently manifested in the form of the sacred hill Arunachala to liberate the whole humanity itself. Even as he was present in the hill form, those who were dearly devoted to him sweetly lamented, other than the rain from the sky, who will perform Abhishekam, the sacred bath for you? Other than the stars, who will make a pearl garland for you? Other than the rays of the sun, who will offer Deepa, the lit lamp for you? Hearing their pleas for the sake of the devotees, Paramashiva immediately appeared in the form of a linga at the base of the temple. In this form only, his devotees worshipped Paramashiva, sang his glory, and around him built incomparable towers and intricately carved walls that would stand tall as the glorious Arunachaleshwara temple till today and even centuries into the future. Therefore, the Kshetra of Tirunamale is the very place on earth which Paramashiva declared as his home thousands of years ago in the three divine forms, the sacred hill Arunachala, the linga Arunachaleshwara in the form of, and third in the form of an incarnation of Paramashiva who lions time and again in the human body in the fourth form, which was not declared by Paramashiva and yet still seamlessly manifested as he lives as Shiva Sarva Guhasaya, as Shiva, the one who resides in the hearts of all. This is the true essence, especially among the townspeople of Tirunamale, for whom Arunachala, Antaryami, who is the Antaryami for all of them. Their Supreme Lord and their most intimate partner, making it possible for Paramashiva to appear again and again as one among them. Adhering to his most compassionate boon for humanity, Paramashiva himself comes down to the planet Earth and guides Lord Brahma and Lord Vishnu to creating the enlightened civilization of Tirunamale. Since then, this place beings who seek the most supreme truth, but as the cosmic beacon of light, which allows for the outworldly beings to descend and ascend the 14 planes of existence and ultimately unite with Paramashiva himself in the primordial form. Since the time of Paramashiva appeared in the form of an effulgent column, the place has been witness to all the different yugas and slow degradation of the original dharma set forth by Paramashiva. When the mind, intellect, and the sense organs are dominated by sattva, when there is genuine liking for spiritual wisdom, knowledge, and the performance of asceticism, one should know that this is the Krita Yuga. When embodied beings show devotion and liking for the first three purposes of human life, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, that attribute called rajas controls the attitude of people. Note that is the Treta Yuga, when the time and the attitude of people is controlled by a mixture of rajas and tamas, lethargy, when greed, discontent, pride, hypocrisy, jealousy predominates and men like to perform religious acts for achieving desirable ends. It is the Dwapara Yuga. In the Kali age, only 1/4 of each of the 4 feet of dharma remain, and that too goes on diminishing day by day by the powerfully increasing feet of adharma, to such an extent that ultimately it becomes extinct. In the Kali Yuga, people will become greedy, take wicked behavior, will be merciless, indulge in hostilities without any cause, unfortunate, extremely covetous for wealth and worldly desires. As a result of Kali's influence, mortal beings become dull-witted, unlikely, they become robbers, miscreants. The Vedas will be condemned by heretics. Kings will exploit the subjects. Man-eaters, twice-borns like Brahmanas will be given to the gratification of their desires.